take two. Okay, Earl's kind of getting antsy, trying to be a pain in the butt. Maybe finding somewhere to lay down. I don't know. But anyway, I just got done feeding her super worms, and I have a hot bath currently cooling off because I got the hottest water. They filled it up there, so I'm letting it sort of air cool instead of putting cold water in there because it gives me time to do a video. Doing a basic bearded dragon care video. Don't have any food on me. As you can see, the food dish is empty. I'm going to do an update video on the new tank. That's the insert from it, so, ooh, spoiler. Also, since I just fed her super worms, I take her out of her cage. I tried doing a video on that. It didn't work. I may try getting another one up, though. But I take her food dish, put it on the floor. Oh, yeah, that's Roscoe. He's sort of going to watch her. Oh yeah, by the way, cats and stuff like that, as long as they can see them outside of the cage and stuff like that, and they're used to watching them, they don't really get stressed out. Like, Earl is not stressed out in the slightest by Roscoe interacting with her. She just doesn't care. Maybe it's because she's a female, I don't know. But I'm going to move her up onto my little leg for now, see if she tries to go anywhere else. Instead of my foot, she'll try shimmying down. She's about 4 years old, found out it's a she. In fact, here, we might be able to get a good shot of it, but lifting up her tail. Alright, let's look back. Alright, see, there are... Okay, this is not a good angle, because I'm twisting the tail around, and it's kind of making it look like there's two bumps, and there's not, but if you feel... I'm not feeling two bumps. If you feel two bumps, that is a guy. One bump or no bump, it's a female. Generally, there'll be no bumps, but hey. But so yeah, that is how I found out Earl's a female. I'll do a more extensive video, better angles. Maybe I'll use an actual camera instead of my phone. Who knows? That's going to be on my list for things for my birthday, because I'd like to become pretty serious about doing things with YouTube. With my YouTube channel, because I owe Earl's life to pretty much people doing YouTube videos on bearded dragons. So I didn't know how to sex them, different things you can get away with them. Like, I didn't know that, because when Earl was a baby, I gave her only Fluker's blend that has freeze-dried bugs. Hang on, let me see if I can... See? It has freeze-dried insects and pellets, and then I gave her kale, and I would dust the kale with a calcium powder. Not this exact stuff, it was in a smaller can, but this stuff. And that's pretty much it. In fact, the kale had most of what she needed. Sometimes I'd alternate with collard greens. I'm going to do a video about him later. But, okay. So as you can see, I have the UV lamp there. It's a 13 watt, but it's also incredibly bright, so I'm pretty sure the UV is penetrating deep enough. The older they get, the less they need it. They still need it for their lives in general, but I met these people who once a week they had an adult bearded dragon. I think he was like 5 or 6 years old. It was a male. He was a very beautiful male, but they would take him and UV blast him. I'm pretty sure. For some reason, in my mind, I envisioned them putting him in like a tanning bed with UV lights. But they pretty much put him under intense ultraviolet, and then they would leave him in his normal setup that didn't have a UV light, because these guys ran a pet store, and he was like the store pet. Like, he lived there all the time. His actual tank was it was rocks and sand by a store window, like the ones that don't open, but you can still see in. It would get hot enough. They could obviously hook up lights when it got colder. Less lighting was coming through. But it was definitely hot enough, temperature-wise, for him. But there was no UV, because glass and plastic filtered out. That's why these tanks have mesh tops. Earl, do you want to come with me? I'll put you on my shoulder. But yeah, you see these have mesh tops, so stuff can come through. But this is the UV. It's by the food, because that's normally when I feel like she would really need it. It's just coming by to eat or wander around. That's the food. That's the water dish. They don't actually drink water necessarily. They have to see it moving. So if they're wandering around, they step in it and it causes it to ripple, they'll take a drink, or if they're looking for a spot, like if they're rubbing around trying to shed, like Drogon has. Again, I'll do a video on him maybe tomorrow, who knows. But they'll ripple, they'll shake the water, and then they'll crawl into the water dish. But, so this is a 40-gallon tank. Lots of people say you can use 40 gallons to breed because you're not going to keep them in there forever. And it kind of forces a male and female to be in close quarters. As you can see, I don't have a whole lot. I plan on actually building her a tank, hopefully this spring. Kind of maybe like a late birthday gift. But that's the basking tree. One time she made that tip over, so I make sure it sort of is able, if it tips over at all, it'll brace itself against the side of the tank. She's clawing down my back now. If I had somebody else to hold my phone, I would totally show you guys. This is pretty much like the English walnut shells, like the shaved ones, because this is not sand. If it gets into her system even a little bit, it'll be way more healthy than sand will because this is natural stuff. Of course, any amount of it could still impact her, so be careful. She doesn't actually track in her food dish, though. In her water dish, yeah, but she doesn't drink it, so that's good. I give her a bath as often as I can, or I spray down her food. I may do a feeding video, like normal food and stuff like that. But for lighting, I have 150 watt, but since my room's kind of drafty, I also have a 60 watt ceramic heat emitter in this fixture that does not actually, hang on, she's crawling actually down my butt. Threw her at my cat. Yeah, I accidentally threw her at my cat. Whoops. But, okay, this is a 60 watt heat emitter in a really small fixture. It was like $10, but it has no off switch, if you see. It has no off switch. This sort of wide dome fixture is really nice for just any kind of lighting. You could put UV because of how wide it is, and it has it reflects from the inside. It has reflector panels on the inside. It would reflect, but this is a bit wider, and I could put bigger bulbs in this. This came with the 20-gallon Bearded Dragon starter kit, and this transferred over. So yeah, I got a log. She occasionally sleeps under it. She's had that since she was a baby. She's also had this twisty log since she was an infant as well. Since she was about a juvenile. But she occasionally just climbs over it or pushes herself, like snuggles in, because they like tight spaces. That rock, my grandpa Joe, he was working, I don't remember where, but he was working in some kind of cave. It was like electricity and stuff like that, and they were like this underground like tunnel. And he found this rock. He brought it back, and I soaked it in hot soapy water to make sure there was nothing on it. Added it to her tank, and she actually uses that to rub off extra skin. Plus, she uses the abrasive edges of this tree. So about general things is that since they're desert lizards, I don't know what the humidity is in here, but I assume it's pretty dry because she's 4 years old and she's not dead. So I assume humidity is a good thing, an okay thing. Temperatures. Okay, as you can see, it's taped up there because it kept falling. But it is at 115 degrees with both of these. That's actually really nice, especially for winter. As you can see, she kind of snuggles up in the sand. That's one reason why I really like the sand, but I don't like because it gets everywhere. But I like it because they can curl up in it, and they can kind of shift it around as they want, or you can shift it around as you want as well. So yeah, when it comes down to if they, poop in it, and if they defecate in there, you generally want to get something like this, or even something cheaper if the ones for cats are even cheaper. But adults really aren't that bad. Sometimes when it comes down to it, look at this. See, she's doing nothing. Watch how I'm picking her up. I'm scooping her up. And trying to brace her tail because they don't like. So again, she's adjusting herself. They don't having the very base part here of their tail holding down because that's where their balance is at. See, she just sits. Although I've been handling her since she was a baby. But if you get an adopted adult that was poorly cared for, all you gotta do is just take it slow. Occasionally hold them, pet them in their cage, and talking to them actually really helps tame them. So yeah. Her belly's they will get dark spots on their belly if they're uncomfortable or if they're like shedding or if they're, impacted or just constipated. Baths help with that. I think I did a video on the merits of a bath, but bearded dragons is pretty easy to take care of. The only thing that costs a lot of money is setting up and upgrading. But for the next few months, and then after that, the next few years, really easy sailing. Like I said, I'm going to do videos on bathing. No, I've already done one on bathing. I'm going to do one on food. Maybe I'll do one when I build her a new tank, because, I don't know, I just feel like she deserves more, because she's my first reptile ever. She's my baby. Also do one on sexing them, and then I'm going to do one on infant care. Hooray! Drogon's a butthead, but as you can see, but you just gotta get him used to you. But yeah, just they're really good to handle, especially ones that may be called, seen as mean. That either A is their personality, which you just gotta learn how to work around, like maybe don't pick them up a certain way, don't touch them in a certain spot, or just get them used to you. Talk to them, touch them, try to hold them, whatever you can, She wants to explore. But yeah, they have personality more than you'd think they would. Like, Earl is very inquisitive, but also very relaxed, especially in her cage, but that also is probably because she's a female. Drogon's personality right now is very grumpy and sort of does not like people. But she licks a lot of things, which either is her testing it or she's showing a sign of respect towards it as a bigger object. She does that with cats and dogs and people, but they're just great pets to have. I would recommend, obviously with parent supervision, I'd recommend bearded dragons any age to children or adults, because they're good to get adults into it, and they're good to help teach kids how to be responsible. Because they're not hard for the parents to have to take care of if the kid just gets uninterested. In fact, the parent may want more after that. Who knows? But this 12-minute video is pretty much almost up. Don't want to risk my phone, and also YouTube not letting me upload it because it takes a long time to upload off my phone. But I will do a video later this evening on the new cage, and then sometime soon on handling and just taking care of. I'll probably for babies. I'll probably do a video more in depth about handling. Probably for him, because he's not very fond of me. But yeah, I'll just do videos on all that. I guess this is a sort of general glimpse video as to what you can get into. Look at this. Watch this. See? Just climb. So you hear her nails. Look at this. She wants down. And then there she goes. So look, she's fine. Nothing's broken. I mean, yeah, I would prefer she climb down here because she wouldn't have fallen on her face, but look at her. Perfectly fine. Nothing's broken or damaged. But anyway, yeah. So this video is kind of over, and expect more from me in a bit. See you later. Roscoe, sign us out. Roscoe.